Hello, everyone. Anyway, today I'm playing this by kind of by ear. Actually, I'm gonna share something regarding the vortex, and first and foremost, I'm gonna share the definition that I found about the vortex. It says what a vortex is: a precursor. A vortex is a vibrational state of being that is a precursor of all positive motion forward of all that is. It is pure positive source. All dreams and everything good is eternal pool of source. You can feel it. So anyways, regarding the vortex, that's what I said I'm mastering, and that's what I'm working towards. And I actually am really enjoying the experience because it's allowing me to be even more conscious than I already was. And so during the I think that it was more like the holiday week, a few days I decided to just hang out with myself and be in the bed and actually be conscious about every single thing I was doing. So I spent time with myself. I think it was 2 days in a row. I decided to spend some time with myself and actually document some of the things that I did. I'm not going to go into the detail about every step that I did, but I did this as an experiment for myself because I wanted to see what was I doing? What was I thinking? How did I feel? And of course, if you're with yourself, you can go through all kinds of different emotions depending on what kind of spiritual space that you're in your life. You can have ups, you can have downs, you can have so-called negative experiences, you can have positive experiences. Well, I would say my experiences were quite balanced. I didn't have a whole bunch of different interaction, and I don't remember. I'd have to look back at my notes, and right now I'm not going to. But I don't remember really talking to anybody. I think, yes, I do. So the first day that I started, I actually really didn't talk to anybody. I had reached out to my sister-in-law because she had texted me and found out that, I let her know. I'm like, I'm in the vortex. It was so funny because she's aware of all of this. I let her know that I was in the vortex and that I wanted to remain there. And since I wanted to remain there, I wanted to see how I could continue on remaining there and be conscious of every thought that I had. Now, I set it up, I think Abraham Hicks talks about setting up that 17 seconds of the day, before you wake up. That's the best time to set that tone for the day. I believe I did that. It's been a little while, so I got to get better on documenting, remembering, because, life, I'm telling you, there's a lot of activity in our lives, 1 minute after the other. I was like, you can't have somebody sitting there and constantly documenting every detail of your life. Although there is something called the Akashic Records, and your life is documented. So, that's a whole nother subject. But anyway, as far as I know, the part that I documented, I let her know that I wanted to stay in my vortex, and I was in this very good feeling, balanced space. And I laid in the bed, just like I had mentioned before, but this time I just kind of sat there in this just being space and practiced it, just listening to every thought that I actually had. It's like, okay, so what do you want to do? And I, at first I really wasn't asking myself any particular questions until I actually felt like I was wanting to ask myself some questions. So what I got from the 2 days, I let my sister-in-law know that I was going to give her a call the next day and tell her, I was telling her that I was milking being in my vortex. So my whole day was so relaxed. It was just so peaceful. And then that next day rolled into the next day, and same thing, relaxed and peaceful. However, I had a little bit more activity in it. I had a conversation with her, just more relaxation and more just peace, 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 peace. So when I started my work week, oh, that's another thing. My work week was freaking awesome. One thing, it went so fast, but I like, even if it didn't go fast, it would have been fine too. However, it wasn't just that I was conscious. I was conscious, and I somehow made a decision inside of my experience, is that I was setting the tone for every day. So it was kind of like one day rolled into the next day and the next day. However, what I did notice is that if I start feeling rushed, now, I was so conscious, I don't remember exactly. I think this happened the next week after. Yeah, this is what happened the next week after. This is what I noticed. So that first week that I had already started my vortex practice of being, milking it and being in a relaxed conscious thought process, and just actually moving by inspiration. And so that was the practice that I had used for those 2 days, is just doing what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, and not forcing it, not pushing it, just being in that space all day long. And what I was doing was I was practicing actually staying still by listening. And my listening was and my movement was by inspiration, when I felt inspired to do something. And I didn't do anything unless I felt like, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm not going to do anything. Okay, I'm just going to sit here and wait until I have a particular thought that assists me in the movement of where I'm going. And I sat in that energy for those 2 days, and one thing rolled into the other. And my week was just as smooth as it can be. It was like so smooth. Now, it's not that I don't have smooth days. However, there are interactions and things happening, but I wasn't moved by any of it. Like, I had so much ease and grace. The office that I work in, so much ease and grace, so much peace. My interaction with people, so much peace. Every person, no matter what was going on, so much peace. It was so funny. But I noticed the next week after, oh my God, what I noticed is that I've become even more sensitive to when I'm not in the vortex. And so what I'm saying that is, I was getting ready for work, right, in the morning. And in my mind, I start rushing. I'm like, oh, I got to get this done. I got to get that done. I got to be, here at a certain time. Oh my God, la, 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 la. And so-called negative thoughts, lower vibrational thoughts started coming in my head. I mean, it was like one after the other, after the other, after the other. And it actually cued me in. So I got the contrast is that I begin to have one lower vibrational, is considered negative thought, after the other. And none of them had anything to do with each other. And I was going, what the hell? And I could feel them. And they were just feeling so irritating to me. And I was like, oh my God. And so I was conscious of them, which is good. And I was like, I can't stay here. No, 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 no. I'm quite aware of what is happening. So the good thing about me, where I'm at, is that if I found that quiet, not quiet, but I found music. I have music that I know that brings me to this peaceful place. And actually, I'll note it in underneath. I'll post it. Ra Ma Da Sa Say Sa Su Song. Now, some of it has to do with earth, sun, it's very a higher vibrational, energetic music that can bring you to a more peaceful place. And so when and this was on my way to work. So I'm playing this on my way to work because I know what can not fix me, but bring me back into a higher vibrational space. I know exactly what I need. And so once I got myself settled in the car, still by the way, still having those lower vibrational frequency thought processes. I mean, I was like freaking one after that, or boom, boom, boom. I'm like, you know, okay, I'll give an example of like, oh my God, oh, what if this happens with the car, or what if, and I was going, what the hell? Oh, I'm gonna be late. Oh, this one. I mean, it was like, what the heck? It was just ridiculous, actually. But the good thing is I already knew what to do. I already knew that I needed to actually get back into my vortex. I have to laugh about it because it's quite comical. Because when you get to a place where you're consciously aware that you're not in the vortex, you have more, because you're conscious about it and you know what to do. And so when you find that thing that helps you just like move right back into that space of peace and prosperity and abundance and love and joy, it's easy to get back in. And I'm just so grateful that I know what works for me. So you have to know what works for you. So I get in the car and I put that bad boy on my phone, connected to the car, and I'm on, and I raise up the volume. And on my way to work, I'm driving short period of time. Don't work. I don't live far from where I work, so I'm just driving and people over here, people over here, people over here, people back there. Everybody's right. Oh, I'm just enjoying, and I'm just. Oh, my drive to work was so wonderful and peaceful. I just enjoyed myself. So anybody has the ability to do that, because it was just, and so that whole lower vibrational thing happened twice. And I did the same thing and it so worked. Oh my God. I was at work humming and singing and enjoying with a big old smile on my face. Oh, and that's the other thing. I've done this before. I've slept and had a smile on my face. Like the whole week that I had been in my vortex for those 2 days, like stayed in my vortex the whole entire day, I was falling asleep with a smile on my face and felt like the smile stayed on my face all day long. I love it. However, I do have the realization that, when I'm not in my vortex, oh, I have to tell this story. It's so funny. So today I'm at work and I actually didn't feel bad, but man, oh man. But I'm conscious of myself. I'm conscious of my behaviors. I'm conscious of my interactions with people. So I'm talking now there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Like I have a lot of things, one, to do at work, and also interacting with all kinds of different people, a lot of activity, and it was just me in the office because my assistant wasn't there. However, I got it done. And for some reason, I already had set the tone that it was just going to be easy and graceful no matter what. And I was going to get the work done when I could get it done. That's exactly how it went. It's like I get it done. However, I get a call, and it's kind of like a telemarketer call, something like that. So they ask me a question. They're like, "Oh, was the owner in?" And I'm like, "No." And at first, for some reason, I was getting the thought process is that this is a call that I need to take. It's definitely important, and every call definitely can be important, in the perspective of it all. But anyway, so I'm taking this call. And as she continues to talk, now this is a live person, because usually robots I hang up on. I'm not a robot. I'm not talking to a robot. I'm a human being. Period. So, and there it is. There it is. So I'm talking to this person and she asked me a question about how, is such and such in, is the owner in? And I say, no, he's not. Can I take a message? La, 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 la. And she says, how can I help you? And she begins to say, oh, well, we've got this, like we're noticing this particular thing is happening with this company. And I go, okay. And I was like, where are you calling from? And I'm telling you, I went into because the energetic field that I got from her, now I can read energy too. So the energetic field that I got from her the call was like bogus. It didn't have relatability. So that's another thing. Your gifts can turn on when you start getting into your vortex, your gifts. Now, I have a lot of gifts that actually have already turned on, but I can see that there's going to continue to be more. I can see how the possibility of being in your vortex, because being in your vortex is actually being the essence of source. So the definition, it says it's pure positive source. That means every time you have the ability to be in line with prime source creator, when you're in your vortex, you're connected to source. That means your hearing, your sight, your motivation, your will, everything about living life has the ability to become easier. Now, I've never heard Abraham Hicks talk about that, but my knowing, my feeling of knowing already tunes into that particular concept. Like there's no way that you cannot be unified in that connection with source, because source is know all, be all, is all. So then that means that you're operating in that know all, be all, is all connection when you choose to be. So that means that all the decisions that you're making, you're not confused, you have more clarity. And she talks about this throughout a lot of the videos that have been shared, is that you get more clarity, you get more insight, you get more wisdom. I mean, who doesn't want any of that in their lives? Because what happens is you make your life easier. You're not struggling so difficultly for an answer. You have a solution. And when you become more connected to your vortex, you always are living in a place of solution because you're tapped in and tuned in and turned on. Your consciousness is, you're able to observe things from oh my gosh, I'm just getting something right now. You're able to consciously be aware of your interaction with everything and everybody from the source level. And I'm going to start ending this particular video. I might continue it on in the next video that I make. So, yeah, I had a revelation, or it wasn't just a revelation. It was a request. And I made my request a long time ago that I wanted to see and hear. I wanted to see from source's perspective. And I'm just now getting that now, like right now while I'm talking. It's like, oh my God, I've finally, that particular request, I'm just now realizing that request has come to pass. It has to do with you being in your vortex. And when you're in your vortex, you're more of source. And when you're more of source, then you're more aligned to making particular decisions that are source based, prime source creator based. So, and then your perspective is clear and you can see from the viewpoint of prime source creator. So your consciousness changes and shifts. But anyway, I'm going to continue this video on something else. I want to say goodbye for now. I'm not for sure of the exact perspective that I'm going to be maneuvering but I choose to make my videos between like 15 to 20 minutes, not too long, just enough, and then I'll continue and all. So I will see you guys later, and thank you so much for watching. I am so appreciative of you, and stay in your vortex. Until the next time, be well, be good to yourselves, and love, love, love more of your beingness, more of your beauty, more of your oneness. Be safe, be good to yourself, and stay in your vortex. Bye-bye.